Hey, good evening, guys. But you know what? I actually don't have anything to say, but I am here because I wanted to see, if Namrata shows up, I wanted to see if she can share her screen and submit the cube. Because we saw the 2D version of the cube, but I'm actually very curious to see if she can just submit it, and then we can, see if the cube is responsive to the mouse, like Zach's icosahedron. Hey, Namrata, thank you for all the posts you're making. That's really cool. Very nice. Um, um, yeah, I was actually talking about you, as you joined. So I actually don't have anything to say. But the reason I came today, because in fact I missed the 2C meeting, which is supposed to take place just before this. No, I didn't have to attend every one of them. I don't think they were expecting me and all. But this one, I thought I should take a look at the cube thing that you submitted for the pretty picture. And if you can share your screen and submit it, I'd actually like to see, because I don't know if it actually rotates in 3D, like Zach's polyhedron. No, yeah, well, why don't we just, he had a very specific name for it, icosahedron. But we can just call it polyhedron. So if the cube works, someone else, you've done it. You don't have to do it again, I guess. Maybe Dylan or Antonio is done, I think. Yeah, Antonio, you're done, right? So
Yeah, I
maybe you
finished.
can try. Yeah, you
Yeah.
are. Yeah. So you are. Some other people are done too. You could try doing a four. The cube is four vertices. Four. Yeah. Maybe you could do a pentagon. So I don't know what that shape would be called. A pentagon that is like five, like a basketball with yeah. Anyway, whenever you're ready, just share your screen and submit it with the cube.
Sure, 1 second.
And then you had this other cube too, right? You had this bigger cube, a cube of cubes or something.
Yeah, that one, I don't know if that's actually 3D. It just sort of like looked like there were multiple cubes in it, but
it was a nice tiling. It was a nice picture of the tiling was good. Anyway, while Namrata is pulling that up, if you guys have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, you just feel free to chat amongst yourself. I don't know. You guys are almost done. Most of you are almost done anyway. So
I'm still like stuck on Quest 8.
oh, you're stuck on Quest 8. So you got until Friday for 75%. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah. If you're on Quest 8, yeah, and you got until Friday, chances are very high that you'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm just like doing gate completions. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, Quest 8 it takes a little bit of time. So just give it time. So this is the one. This is submitted, and then this is the one.
yeah.
Okay, can you drag 6 or 0 or something? We'll see if it actually rotates. Oh, it does actually look like a cube. Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, that is cool. That is cool. So yeah, definitely someone should try. Someone should try. Okay, actually, you can give it a whirl. It should basically spin. It should just and move your mouse away. Give it a whirl and move your mouse away. I think it should spin. I don't know. I don't know. I thought maybe Zach's one was a spinning icosahedron. Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of cool. It's very nice. It's very nice. Thank you, Namrata. Maybe someone can do a five-sided picture. Eventually, I think you can even do a basketball. I don't know, how many of those little things are there in a basketball? I don't know. There's lots of these hexagons, right? Little hexagons. I don't know. How do you tile those? Anyway, thanks. That's all I came for. All right. So if you don't have any questions for me, I'm not. So here, I'm not going to take off because then I have to assign the host to someone, and then I figured even if I did that, you saw the previous video. It was not. It wasn't gallery view. It was speaker view still, and so something funky is happening there. So what I'll do is I'll just turn the laptop away and turn off my camera and go away. Won't interfere with your discussions. And when you're all done, you know, it's all silent. I'll just come back and stop recording, and then I'll trim the edges off before I upload it to YouTube. I think that should work. Hopefully, this is the last time I'm probably going to use this Mac. I went to Foothill last Friday and got my new Mac. Because this one, it's been so faithful for the last 20 years. Hey, Sabrina, a long time. He just showed up all of a sudden. All right, cool. Great. Welcome back. Yeah, so
I can't make it Friday, so I come on Monday, and it's difficult for me to.
Yeah, but I was here last Monday too. You weren't here, I think.
I was.
You were?
Or was it last Monday, Memorial Day?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I thought we didn't have class. I'm sorry. I didn't go last Monday.
Oh, yeah. Well, I actually forgot it was Memorial Day. So yeah, totally. But anyway, this class, this is not a class, right? It's just an informal meeting, like a Sunday, right? Sundays are holidays. People just have informal meetings on Sundays. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So this Mac. So this is probably the last recording that will happen on this Mac, and then maybe tomorrow, if I have time, I'll just do a time machine restore from, I just finished the time machine backup today. I'll restore it onto that machine. And maybe that Zoom will be faster in terms of transcoding things, right? This is like 10 years old now, almost, this Mac. So like I'm retiring, the Mac also retires with me. So, but no, I am getting that new one, which I'll, use for a couple of years before I give it back to. Oh, by the way, yeah, CS2C. Yeah, I know a lot of you are interested in continuing on to do the CS2C, but like I said, I'm not planning to teach it unless there's a strong request from the department saying, "Can you please teach it?" Yeah, and that means they have good data from students saying, "Hey, you won't have to cancel this class. We'll run." Okay? And so if they do that, I'm happy to teach it. Otherwise, here's the idea. Okay, if there's more than 5 of you, I'm sure I see quite a few of you here who are eager. There's more than 5 of you, and you don't even have to have access to Canvas through Foothill, because if it's less than 50 people, I can just set up a Zoom meeting on my personal account. It's free, right? Up to 50 people, it's free, I think. Yeah, just set up a Zoom, and I could have it running every Friday and Monday, just like this. Over the summer quarter, that's six weeks. You can just get together, work on the requests. And and sometime, if you guys are really interested, I can try and put together a test outside of Canvas somehow, right? That will test some of the module knowledge outside of the quests, like some of the more involved algorithms, like indirect sort, or whatever, the minimum spanning tree, or Kadani's algorithm, timing issues with that. So those are interesting topics. I can do a test. If you want, just to keep the things comparable between the Canvas section and this, but this would be free, right? 100% free. But the catch is that you got to be committed, meaning that you're not looking at it as a free class. You got to think of it as a real class. It's a boot camp that you pay $25K for, except it's free, but you should think it's a boot camp that is worth a lot of money. And if you're willing to do that, 5+ people get together twice a week on Zoom. I'm happy to set up these meetings, and I can attend the occasional meetings. Maybe I spoke too soon about the tests. Yeah, I'll have time to do the tests. Yeah, but I have to find a good platform for that. Maybe even Google Forms or something. Yeah. So even something like that might actually work, because Canvas is quite nice that way for the test purposes. So I'm happy to do that. Okay, so you don't have to worry about unless you actually want it on your transcript. I don't know. If you just want it on your transcript, there's other sections, and there's bound to be easier sections, right? So if I'm not going to teach it, I don't know if Lane is going to teach it this quarter in fall, because he's just joining this year, and typically at Foothill, we don't give a newly appointed candidate a C-level course to teach right away, right? So we get them started on 2A, and then the next quarter we give them 2B, so that they potentially have the same students. Go on from 2A to 2B and then 2C. So it'll be a couple of quarters, I think, before Lane would teach 2C. I don't know of any other strong sections at Foothill or De Anza. I don't know. Maybe there are, right? But if there are easy sections, you can tell right from rate my professor. You know, those professors get a very good rating usually. So if it's an easy A or on the Foothill Reddit, you can just do that and then do the quest on the site. Yeah, so you get your transcript for the $150, but at the same time you also get real knowledge, which on the site. Yeah, so that would work too. I'm happy to consider that because we're coming too close to summer, and I realize that I do have some time. I think I have time for that. Easy. Yeah, so like this Monday, Friday. You guys decide twice a week, and we can set up the meetings. Yeah, that's all I had to say. And thank you for the. What you can do is take a YouTube video of the animation of the 3D object, and you can also share that on Reddit. Just occurred to me. And those are fun things you can try. Because now you got a lot of time. You finished everything. Oh, you got to dog all the quests. But I think that'll be easy once you've gotten this far. And Antonio, you too, right? You still have to go back and dog some of the quests, yes?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Because I think 4, you got more trophies to get on 4. Many of you have more trophies to get on 4.
So if you finish quest 9, you can go back and finish the other quests, like the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, you actually, if you popped a quest in the past, you can go back and work on it to get more.
Yeah, and you don't have
you don't have to dog 9 to go back to a previous quest. If you've popped a quest before in time, before the freeze date, you can go back and get more points for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and do that, and hopefully it'll all be fun. Okay. And let me know if you have any plans for a final get together. I don't know. Do we need to have a final get together next week? Yeah, maybe. Next week is week 11, right? So this is week 10. Next week is week 11. So we'll have another meeting next week also. Oh, you guys are meeting on Friday too. Yeah, I probably won't make the Friday meeting unless you want me to. I don't have anything specific to say. And then as far as the final goes, we can meet on next week even. Yeah? Monday or Friday, we can talk about the final. And now you can just focus on polishing up the class, eking out the trophies from here and there, making sure you dog everything. I think it'll be fun, okay? I think it should be fun. And just make the most use of the time you've got. All right. Okay.
I had a quick question.
Yeah, sure. Number that.
Just for like the quest, is there somewhere we can see what the maximum number of points is per quest? Or
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was telling Dylan last class. I actually don't know how many trophies, what the max is, because over time, I just gone in and randomly kept inserting more trophies here and there, because some students point out saying, "Hey, that's really cool," and I didn't get a trophy there, and but I should have got one, and then I go and put a trophy there, and then the only way I can do it is it'll take me about 10 or 15 minutes. I have to go and look through the code and grab out the. I think the best way to do it is just look in the subreddit and just see if you can get the max that anyone's got so far. Yeah, because once you've done all 9 quests, you can just go back and look at all the posts, right? So you can just go to koala and say who got the most number of trophies for koala, and people have made tables. You can also make a table if you want, okay? Since you've done everything, and saying, hey guys, if you want to look it up, you can look it up here. So yeah, I think that's absolutely possible. Yeah, you helped me too, actually, because I got to go to Canvas and say, okay, this person dogged these quests. Okay, 2 + 2 + 2 + 2. So it'll help me to see what those numbers are. Great. Awesome. Okay, no questions for me. Okay, I should remember not to turn off the leave the meeting. But what I'll do is I'll turn off the microphone, so I won't be hearing anything. Okay. And I'll turn down the video also. Well, it's going to be recording. Okay, so now it's blank screen. Hopefully with blank screen and microphone turned off, let's see if the fan dies down. Right? The Zoom is actually notorious, I think, but not as bad as maybe something else, some other stuff. But it actually just the fan starts. The fan's going now. Let's see if the other Mac is different. Okay, all right. I'm going to turn this laptop around. Okay, so I'm not here and I can't see you and hear you. Actually, maybe I should hear you. So I'm just gonna put the volume up a little bit. So I'm not gonna pay any particular attention. But if you want me to come back for any reason, just call out. Okay. Then I'll come back. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I need to know when it's all silent so I can come and switch it off.
Okay. So I was quest 9.
Quest 9, honestly, is relatively easy. It's pretty fun, pretty simple. In my opinion, it's just understanding nested, is it nested? Yeah, I guess you could say it's a nested vector. Understanding that, how that works, and is pushing objects onto a vector is relatively simple.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was wondering with vector, the vector is a vector of edge. And so the first layer of the vector is an int, I would assume, right? And then the second layer would be the edge. Or maybe they're both edges, but that's where I was like a little confused, where the first layer of the vector is the source, which has to be an int, and then you can push back. So that was the part that I was like confused about, because it's of edges of vectors of edge, and or is it in the first layer an int and then the edge? So I don't know. Maybe trying to understand those two-dimensional vectors.
Okay. Well, I'm still stuck on like get completions. So I just wanted to ask a few questions. So how did you guys set your front? Is it just like before you do the while loop, do you just like do I guess unprocessed nodes dot front dot node equals this, something like that? Because like I've been getting a blank output. Like I resized the vector, for the limit as set in the spec. I set the I guess the front to this before I do the while loop, and after that, um I do whatever I need to do in the while loop, right?
Yeah. I'm looking at my code too.
I just want to make sure that I'm like not like inserting something empty before I do the process. Because I think it should be this.
Sorry, what error do you get when you try to?
Okay, so the output I get is like I do get like all the limit like well, yeah, I do get like limit up to 200 shown, but there's nothing being passed in. It's probably my if statements and how I'm pushing the well data into the completions vector. Like I have much better idea of what the problem was like before we entered class.
Before my if, I had it point to the traverse.
Root? The traverse? Really?
Yeah.
And
It actually got me super confused, and I'm looking at my code now trying to understand it myself. But that's what I had it pointing to.
okay, and what was inside the traverse? Because I'm still like I know it's supposed to be like a string, but is it traverse this or
Yeah, I did the node pointing to this traverse, and then inside the traverse, yeah, a string. And then I did my if.
you get the string from this pointer, right?
Are you talking about the node get completions or the tree get completions?
Oh yeah.
The node.
Oh yeah, I had it with like the pointing to this and the string. I was having trouble too, and I forgot which error I was getting. So once I stuck the string inside the traverse, then it finally completed. So if I'm being honest, I don't completely understand it myself, but it worked.
So when you're setting the front node, like you set it to traverse and then you have a string inside of that. And the string comes from the list pointer, right?
Yes.
Okay. And for the comparisons inside the while loop, you do like if cont.node equals null pointer, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the for loop, do you use the given code or like the code that's given to us for the previous ones, or do you just iterate it with like a size t?
Um, wait, are we talking about the get completions again?
Yeah.
Sabrina,
Yeah.
I think you're talking about the tree get completions, and he's talking about the node get completions.
Oh, wait, maybe I am.
Yeah, you have to go up and look at the node.
Hold on.
Because I use traverse in my tree get complete.
Oh yes, okay, I see it. The node one. Before the if I cleared the completions first before my
Yeah, that's what I did first. And then you set the unprocessed nodes, like the node and the string to like this and then an empty string, right?
yeah, that's actually what I did too.
Yeah. I thought that was correct. I was just making sure of that. So yeah.
Did
And
you
in the while loop,
submit equals
you compare it to null pointer. You point the continuation of the nodes to null pointer, and then you just push whatever's in the partial, I guess. That's my guess. Like, as far as I could understand is you have like a tree, right? And you start from the front and then it pops that front and then there's a continuation and in that continuation are the nodes that you need to go next to. And the node goes to the next node and then that node has its own continuations.
You're pushing this into the queue before the while loop, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm setting the front node to this. I'm not pushing it, but
You should just push it. There is no front node yet. The queue is empty
oh,
at the beginning.
okay. Okay. I tried pushing it, but
Yeah, because
let me see.
the whole idea with breadth first traversals, you want to start at the first layer, which is your
This.
your first layer, right? And so you're
Yeah.
pushing everything on that first layer, the first vector of nodes, and you're pushing everything there. That's the first thing before you get to your while loop.
Okay.
So you want to check everything on that first layer, first set of nodes before you get to the then once you push everything onto the queue, that first layer, then you get to your while loop and then you pop the queue and then that's when you start your completion. And well, again, you're also going to be pushing to the queue again, but now you're going to be filling up your partials onto the second level and then the third level and the fourth. So that's the whole point of breadth first. You start your first
Okay.
layer and then second. But yeah, your first, before you get to your while loop, you need some type of for loop to push everything that's on your first level of
Okay,
nodes.
yeah, that I didn't do. I think that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
And in the while loop, you also do you actually do a for loop as well, or is it just before the while loop?
Well, I followed the code that was provided in the spec. So there was sort
Yeah,
of a
that makes
starter code.
sense.
There was a while loop. So before the for loop, then you go to your while loop. And that's when you start creating your partials. And then when you create the partial of the second level, and then there might be more, then you push more you push it to the queue again, until you hit a null, until you hit the end of the word, I guess, or something like that.
And for the parcels, you don't have to add them to a string, right? Or anything like that. You don't need a prefix or anything like that. It
Well,
just
you
does it.
are forming a prefix in some way, right? So
Yeah,
you start at
yeah,
your
you are.
first level, and then you go to your second level and you realize it's not over yet. And so it's a partial. And so you push it back into the queue. And then
Once you get a like null pointer, then you
once you hit
push
a
it
null,
to
you
the
know that you've
completion.
finished your word. And then you push it
And so you
onto
push it into
completions.
completion.
Yeah.
At least for the node. All right. Okay. I think that clears it up for me because I was doing the for loop inside the while loop.
No.
So that might have been
I mean, well, let's see. There are loops in your while loop. There's still nested loops within your while loop as you're going through the lower, more levels down, like from second level, third level, fourth level, whatever there might be.
but it would be one for loop, right? That will do that for you, I'm guessing.
I have one for loop within my while
Yeah.
loop. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I should probably just do a push the front node entirely within the limit, I guess. I mean, not the front node, but push everything inside the list pointer. Okay.
The way I did
Yeah.
it, the only thing I have outside of the while loop is pushing a continuation that's built off of this node onto the queue. That's the only thing I did outside of the while loop.
Yeah, so I guess I use the for loops that we used before, sort of.
I didn't have any for loops before the while loop.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a different way to do it, but the way your while loop should work is that it pops off the front, it checks if there are any children, and if there are children, it pushes them into the queue. So the only thing you need at the beginning is the very top, because all of the children are related to that top node.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So you kind of used your while loop to continue on, even if you're on the first level of the.
Well, the first level is just the root node, isn't it?
Yeah, but the root node, I mean, what if you have in your first level, you have more letters there, A through Z. How do you, I mean, there's probably, I guess in my thinking, in the first level, that vector, this vector has A through Z. And so I make sure that everything is there, right?
The way I thought about it was when I was writing this was just, what if I passed in the what is it called in this? The root node, which is not a node itself, it's just a pointer to a node. So it doesn't have a vector of next. It's just it only has children. It doesn't have a vector. So it just points to something else. That was how I designed it. So the root node gets pushed on. You know, when I was designing this, that's what I was thinking. The root node gets pushed on, it gets popped off. You check if it has any children, anything that it's pointing to, and then it goes from there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So if the root node is not
But
next,
but
it's not
if
null.
you're saying it worked with a for loop on the outside, then I'm sure there's different ways to do it.
Yeah.
Your code's probably more simpler than mine.
Well, as long as it gets the job done.
Yeah. Because I've just been setting the front of the unprocessed continuation node to this, so that doesn't seem to cut it. But because I'm not continuing inside the while loop, I'm guessing.
Yeah, are you saying you're doing like vector dot front equals blah blah blah?
I'm doing
Like
like
what do you
unprocessed nodes dot front dot node equals this.
Yeah, if you haven't pushed anything into it, the dot front won't give you anything. There's nothing there. You have to push the node
Yeah.
in first.
So I guess I'll have to push it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm not getting anything. I wasn't really. Alright. I'm gonna see. Because I tried doing like push, but it kind of gave me an error.
I'm sure there's lots of different ways to do it though. Shirley,
Yeah.
what were you asking before?
Oh, my question was for the quest 9. All these two-dimensional vectors, and I got confused with it's like, how do you push back on an edge or something like that? And but then the first layer is an int, I would assume. I mean, when you see two-dimensional vectors, is the first part assumed as an int? That's where I was like
It's
confused
an
about.
index.
It's an index, but it could be anything, any type.
Well, it's not a type. In each
Any
spot of the outer vectors is a vector.
Yeah. So
So when you say nodes bracket I or something, what
yeah,
you get is a vector.
another vector, right?
Right.
But what is that
Yeah.
I? Is that
That
it?
that could be an int or a size t or whatever you're using to loop over it.
What's interesting is, when you declare it, it's just vector of vector edge nodes. And so the first bracket again is that assumed as a number, an int or size t, or that's where I was like, how is what is assumed, I guess, for that, for the first bracket.
I just sent something in the chat. I think that's how I was looking at it. It's sort of just like if you have like a big vector, and usually like it would like the individual elements could just be like an int or a string or whatever the data type is. But instead of like it being one data type, that element is itself a vector. So like the 0 index would be like the 0 source, and then that edge vector would be all the possible like edges to like different destinations.
So you said something on Reddit. So you're saying the first
Just
bracket
right here, just like in the chat right here.
Okay. First bracket is okay. Wait, you have it on. is your title Pretty Pictures or
Oh, just in
No,
the
she
Duo
posted it
chat.
in chat.
oh chat? Sorry. Okay, chat. Oh wait, oops. All right. Edge vector. Yeah, so it can be a string, for instance, or in this case, it's a struct. It's an edge struct. So the first layer can be an edge struct.
No.
No, is that what you wrote down? Edges vector.
Like there's a bracket, like they have 3 edges vectors, but there's like a bracket outside all those 3.
Let me see if I can show me. Can I draw right now? Hold on.
Yeah.
Because I might better
You might-
explain it.
Okay.
Whiteboard. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
So
Yeah. Yes.
so what it is oh, hold on. A vector of
Vector.
of
Edge.
edges.
Yeah.
So inside this, where's my drawing tool? Where did that go? There it goes. So this is bracket A and this is bracket B.
Mm-hmm.
So we have edge 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
Each of these inside vectors, I'm gonna put this in red actually so it's more clear. Each of these are returned when you do I forget. Let's just say node 0. And then this is node 1 or
Okay.
node 2. Forgive my poor handwriting, but
No, it's fine actually.
Right.
So it is assumed that it must be the 0th entry, the first entry, the second entry, whatever, so on and
Right.
so forth.
And
Okay.
then inside that is the edges to that node.
The edges in this case is the string and the whatever the edge.
Yeah,
What is it called? Destination and the string.
correct.
Okay. Okay. So it's always assumed as some number of it, which is the first bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I was wondering if any of you guys, when you were doing this quest, I felt like all of the solutions to my, each mini quest were kind of like not very elegant or anything. I was just like using whatever random for loops, while loops to sort of draw the thing that it's asking me to draw. And I was wondering if you guys were like making a bunch of helper functions, or like I was trying to look for something that was like reusable between functions and like not having a lot of success with that. And I was wondering if anybody else did anything different there.
I didn't really do anything different. Yeah, it is like for each of the mini quests, I just like made my own way thing to do it, and it's like different for each mini quest. It's like also pretty messy.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking for like similar. I was kind of like going back to that Stickman quest we did, and I was thinking about like, oh, here's a line and here's a square, and maybe I'll be able to like reuse those between the quests or something. And I've been trying to do that, but I'm like, this is taking much longer than if I just like did it the stupid way. So I don't know if I was just like missing something or not, but maybe they are just not super related to one another.
Yeah, I thought that too because I only did the first mini quest and it's stupid just I just listed everything down but I thought thinking like maybe there's some common function among all the quests and maybe use that as another helper function or something like that. I don't know. But no, I haven't gone past first quest yet. But eventually we have to get a password right for the next quest, right? This
Yeah,
leads to another password, right?
After this, I went and checked because I got a password for it. It's 2C classes. It's 2C modules. So this is
Yeah.
the last one to be.
Okay. So there's still so there's a password to get.
It's just for 2C.
Okay. And that's for all. Did you get the password for all those mini quests after all the mini quests, or that was on the spec?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
So the spec had how many quests? Mini quest. What is it?
7.
7. And did you get the password after the 7th mini quest or something, or?
Honestly, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to it. I just
Okay,
I just maxed it out and then got the password and then I just checked it.
I see.
So
Okay.
I think you get it like the last one is like you just make your own like design. I think you get it right before that one.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I have it where it pushes like the. Sorry for interrupting this, but now I have it for pushing the constructor for like you have the strut continuation. I push in the constructor of this and an empty string inside the unprocessed node. So
To make a continuation. Like you have
yeah,
continuation
first
parentheses this.
to make a continuation from root, and then I guess I just have to go through the index after that to push it in, like the rest of them in. I don't know. I'm just trying to think how
Did
to
you
approach.
say did you say you used this or you used root?
I used this. Root doesn't
Okay.
seem to
Yeah, you shouldn't use root.
yeah, root doesn't seem to work. Yeah, so I guess my idea is just to go through a for loop and maybe push the rest of them or do it in the while loop. Um, using this dot next. I don't know.
Well, so if you're following the spec, it gives you a pretty good idea of what to do
Right.
for your next steps. But basically, like the whole loop, I guess, in your while loop, you're checking to make sure that unprocessed nodes, your queue, is not empty. That's your like quitting
Yeah,
factor. So it's
yeah,
not empty at the beginning because you just pushed in that very first, the top level node.
uh,
So the very first thing you do, and it says this in the specs if you want to check, is you pop that off, or you get it, you save the front into a variable,
yeah,
and then
that's
you
what I
pop
do.
that off, and then you check out that node that was the front node for all of its children. And that's when you're going to sort of like process the child. That's when I did it anyways. I sort of like processed the child and figured out, if it's a null character or if it's null pointer or if
Not
it's
no
something that
pointer.
leads to something else. And you sort of do different things depending on each of those conditions.
Yeah. So when you just push it in, it includes the root and all its children, right? And then the children of those children. And so all you need to really do is you go into the queue, you set it to a continuation, CONT, and then you pop that off in the queue, and then you check all these different things, and if it's no point, you'll push it into a completions. Otherwise, you'll go to the next, and you'll pop that off, and then you'll check if there's a null characters or null pointer. Alright,
Yeah, that sounds like the right idea.
yeah. Yeah, I still get like blank, but I guess I'll just have to adjust my what I'm checking for.
Yeah, and just this one took me a lot of breakpoints and debugging and just walking through step by step and being like, why am I getting blank? You know, why am I not getting anything in the queue, or why am I not getting what I expect into the queue?
Yeah.
Just have to walk through it step by step with your debugger.
Yeah. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to delete the for loop that I have set up because it doesn't seem to do anything right now. That's important. And I'll just have to walk through the different steps in the spec.
All right, everyone, I gotta go, but thank you so much for your help.
See you later.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one thing to note, it seems like Reddit is going down, so yeah. That's gotta be a bit of a problem for this class.
I still have access to the Reddit.
Hmm?
I still have access to Reddit.
Yeah, but it's just
Right.
like earlier today it was down for the um class temporarily. I guess Anon brought it up or something.
No, I think it just the whole Reddit crashed
No, it
earlier
was not.
today.
It's something else. But I'm not gonna get into that. I don't have any more questions. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna log off
Yeah, I'm
here
gonna
as well.
pop off. I'm gonna pop myself off from the queue.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Yes, very right.